Welcome to the Meeple Syrup Show, and we're here in the beautiful Niagara Falls, New York, at the Gathering of Friends. I'm here with my co-host, Sen Lim.
Hello.
And we are filming from my hotel room, so apologies. Hopefully the internet works. I'm seeing our first guest walk in the door. This is fantastic.
Perfect
the whole
timing.
format of our show is going to be random people coming up to the door and us welcoming them in. Sit on down, our friend. I can't remember. Do you remember the episode number that you were on, Gil?
No idea.
No idea, but everyone should remember Gil Hova. He's here with a couple of his wonderful games, and I've had the pleasure of playing them both. Gil, why don't you say hello, and what games did you bring with you?
Hello. What did I bring with me? Good question. So the first game I brought with me is my party game, Bad Medicine. This isn't going to be the final box, but it's close to the final box. But this is a party game in which the players are all pharmaceutical companies coming up with horrible drugs. It's really funny. It plays 3 to 8 players, and everybody has a really good time playing it. And it's gotten a really good reception so far. I'm pretty excited about it.
I saw this game at Unpub. It was hilarious. Gil was handing out the most original handout, and everyone was clamoring over them. Yep. Why don't you tell us what you did as a handout?
Yeah, I bought a bunch of pill bottles, and I filled them with M&Ms, which is, I've heard problems, people running into problems with that when apparently people have given them out to, like, kids. And, like, I had one friend say, that's a terrible idea, don't do it. And it's because people in the past have given it out to kids. So kids, don't take pills because they're not candy. But, you know, the game is 16 and up, and by that time you should be aware of the difference between candy and pills.
And you did this great thing on the bottles.
Oh, yeah. So the pill labels, I actually took the stuff from the game, like the cards in the game. Let me show you some of the cards in the game. This is a great segue. So why don't you show off this card over here? So every card has 3 things on it. It has a little bit of a drug name, a little bit of a description, and on the bottom is a side effect. So I just randomized them all, and I took 3 random card names, and I made the drug name for that, and I put that on a label along with the condition that it fixes and the side effect. So they're all really funny. You know, I've got a drug over here that treats hormones, but the side effect is anal leakage. You know,
oh my God.
Things like that. Yeah.
This is the Gathering of Friends. So
yeah.
anything goes.
This card is a 16+ card because it's got the shouting unhappy pill bottle in the lower right-hand corner. So
there you go.
If
you can sort it if you want.
Yeah, you can do that if you want.
If you're wondering about Sen checking in the on his phone, this is the way we're gonna follow Twitter. And oh yes,
we got another guest.
We have a guest, really kind of like a guest host, and we're gonna have to welcome the one, the only JR Honeycutt.
Hi, JR.
Hey, JR. What up, Gil Hova?
That's me.
Your love is like bad medicine, Gil. It's bad medicine is what I mean.
Bad medicine.
That's right.
You know the funny part is I don't even like that song, but you know it fit the game, so I just have to deal with it.
At Dreamation, at Unpub, and at New York Toy Fair. Not Toy Fair. At the other show we did, literally at PAX East. I had that song in my head the entire time because of your game. I was like, your love is like bad medicine, just over and over and over again.
Well, I'm going to have that effect, I suppose.
That's right. And I'm a backer of your game, so there's that.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Sen and Daryl. Hello, Meeple Syrup Show. Hi, everybody.
Hello, Nerd Nighters. What's up?
I have to tell you that I am so unbelievably jealous of what you guys are doing right now. I wish that I was sitting in a nondescript hotel room in the middle of Midwestern whatever, playing games with all of my friends.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we're going to be going rapid fire, but we got one more game from Gil that I want him to give a shout out.
Yep.
Because I got to play this. It was awesome. Why don't you tell us quick about it, Gil?
So this is Battle Merchants, which came out last year, but I'm currently working on a small expansion that Minion Games and I are going to release at Origins. Thank you, JR. Woo! Yeah. So this is an economic strategy game. There's 4 races at war. There's elves, dwarfs, orcs, and hobgoblins. But you as the player don't care which race wins the war. You're just selling weapons. The richest player at the end of the game wins. So it's all about being an arms merchant, selling to both sides. And the expansion adds all sorts of interesting spins to the game. And yet you can play it if you've never played the game before. So it's really approachable and really fun to play.
I hadn't played the game I played it with the expansion. It was fantastic.
Oh, thank you, man.
I'm looking forward to getting my own copy. It was fun. I got my butt kicked, but that shows that even when your butt's kicked, and if you have a good time. So again, I want to thank Gil for taking the time to run up here and be our first guest, and I'm going to keep us rolling because the night's still going, and I see our friends from North Star.
So
you're going to have to kind of cram in.
Well, let me clear the chair and keep things rolling.
Thank you.
All right. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for having me.
Bye, Gil.
Bye, Gil.
Bye, JR.
I just wanted to say, hey, guys, I'm going to bounce. I just wanted to say hello and everything.
Yeah, no problem. So right now we have Luke and Satish and
Dom in here.
I think Dom's coming in.
You're going to just like squeeze, maybe Neil, see whoever wants to jump in.
I'll sit on Luke's lap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that kind of podcast.
Now that's worth watching.
Yeah, you can stay in the room to watch.
Come on down.
I'll squeeze back here.
All right, actually, you know what? I'll move right here. You sit
Oh, you
down.
should probably get Dom on
I'll just
camera.
see
He's the better looking of the three of us. So.
He's coming. Grab a seat, and he'll come in too. There's room for everybody. There we go. Here we go. Come on in, John. It wouldn't be right if we didn't have everything. You can get in here. Sit down here.
Yeah, all right.
Dom's got the box.
We-
He should
Yeah, he should be
All
front and center.
We like things cozy here.
All right.
So,
It is the gathering of friends.
awesome. So, I mean, right off the bat, we got to talk about this because I actually got to play test this a bunch of times last year at the gathering, and now it's out in the wild, and you're testing an expansion. Why don't you tell us?
Pun intended.
Pun intended.
Okay.
Tell us about it.
No, why don't you give it a go?
So what am I? I'm sorry. I'm
Start here.
start with second edition.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we'll kind of rewind and talk about all the other wonderful things in Northside.
So right now we are kickstarting the second edition of Evolution, and at the exact same time the first expansion, which is
Ooh.
the Flight expansion.
Ooh, flappy.
Nice.
Flight brings avian species into the ecosystem, which changes everything
Changes
because they
everything.
can
Fly.
do this and then they go to other places. They can get food, they can swoop down on prey,
Mhm.
and they can what else? Can they do?
They can fly away from predators.
Escape predators too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Big deal. The second edition of Evolution, if you know the box, you can see that this is a completely new
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
painting. It's actually the artist who did the cards that did this one. It's a
Right,
watercolor. It's really beautiful. And it's got the horns guy, they got the long neck guy, they got the fat tissue guy back here, they got the warning call, and
fatty.
the little pack hunters.
Love it.
So now this has updated art for about half the cards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so mostly background art. So the
Okay.
cards that didn't have any background art, we put up
Gotcha.
good at background art. Has a new painting there. Then all the food numbers were changed on all the cards.
Oh,
they
wow.
were reduced because first-time players like to play high food cards. And so we had a lot of first-time players
Got it.
that would go, well, food, there's just lots of food. They're like, why
Gotcha.
would we even do this?
Too
There's
much.
just food.
Right.
So whereas experienced players like us in the office, we
Sure.
never had that problem. We were always
Right.
playing low food cards, trying to time it so that, we got
Yes.
fed and no one else did.
Absolutely. So now everyone kind of gets more of that experience.
Right. It's a tighter food environment.
Yeah. So actually what we found is experienced players won't even notice the difference.
Right.
Because they were playing low
They
food
were
cards
already playing
anyways.
that way
Yeah.
anyways.
But the new players will.
That's interesting. So you redesigned it so that people would have the experience that you kind of wanted them to have from the get-go.
Right.
Food should run out at some point.
Yeah, it should be
That
scarce.
is one of the things you're dealing with is how do I get to the food before other people, and how do I not get eaten by a predator?
Sure.
Or how do I become a predator?
Right?
Yep.
And eat the other people.
Yeah,
That's
Luke
right.
used to do that all the time.
Yeah. Now I've converted
now
my
he's kinda
ways.
converted. He's a little bit more.
You
of a
go,
peace
you
lover.
go veggie on us?
I've gone veggie
Yeah.
on you, man.
Well, you know
Just
what's
like in real life.
It's just like in real life.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Any inspiration because of this?
It's hard to be a carnivore.
It
It's
is.
like-
So should we call you like evolved Luke?
yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Excellent. And can you tell us a little bit about other games that people might not know that are North Star games, or they do know and they love them?
Sure. Actually, can I just do a
Yeah,
couple
please.
more things about
Yeah,
this?
please.
So we're actually hiring a full digital team. We've hired 3 people so far. We're going to hire another person. We have an art director, we have a programmer, we have a person managing the whole digital team. Scott is running the digital division. We're going to
Excellent.
we're turning Evolution into an Evolution game system.
Wow.
And
Nice.
we're gonna be supporting this system for the next 10+ years.
So will
Wow.
it be app based or will it be actually like your computer?
All. Yeah.
Oh.
So what we really want to do is be among the people that's setting the bar for the digital conversions.
Excellent.
So we're going all out. It's really we're looking at Hearthstone really as kind of the
Sure,
model.
that's
of
where-
the bar of
where you're
that's where
reaching.
the bar
Yeah.
is now. So.
Absolutely.
So your delivery model is going to be based on that kind of easy access, and then
Really cool
more
tutorial.
stuff. Right.
Lots of oops.
It's all good.
oh,
Anything
Oh,
happens.
come here to maple syrup, I think is what it says.
There it is. You're here. It's like the future telling you a message.
So
yeah, one thing I've learned, when you guys do something, you do it right. Like you do it all the way. So this digital conversion, I'm sure, is going to be amazing.
yeah, we're expecting it to. So the art director was working
Thank you.
at Wizards of the Coast.
Awesome.
He would worked at Disney for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a superstar.
So some serious experience.
We brought over Scott Rencher, who's a friend of ours from business school. He was been at
Okay.
Intel for the
He
last
was
10
at
years.
Intel, yeah.
Wow.
And
And then there's me.
And then you're there.
He's
there.
a resident
You're
vegetarian.
steady.
Long-haired hippie, right? There you go.
Yeah. Well, when Luke comes back next year with wings, we're not going to be laughing.
Yeah.
Whoa, that
And
would be.
and my
something
dive
else.
bombing ability, you're not gonna like it.
Guess what? He's a carnivore again.
That's right. Nothing scarier than pack hunting birds, man. Let me tell you.
terrible.
It's like
Yeah. But definitely people should check out, if you're a fan of Evolution, the Flight Kickstarter just launched on Thursday.
Excellent.
Wow.
yeah. And one thing I
It's-
should note is anybody who has the first edition game, if they
Yep.
back on Kickstarter, we'll send them the new card from second edition
perfect.
to update their
Full
first.
set.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're redesigning. Well, so all the food's different, but we've also changed
Some
the
of the
text on
cards,
6 of
yeah.
the cards to create
Okay.
more synergies.
Sure.
So which that does is mitigates the luck of the draw because
Yep.
you get a hand and there's always like 3 or 4 different
Yep.
ways or
Yep.
more that you can play it out.
So not only will you guys get, an updated version, you're gonna get more stuff with
More
flight
stuff.
and wings and feathers and all that kind of goodness. And what better way to start, the summer than to fly into it and eat things.
That's right.
Can you tell us any other things going on with North Star?
So maybe you can tell about our staples in case people don't know our staples.
Yeah.
But let me
Yeah.
just go a little bit about expansions.
Yes.
So what we don't want to do is just put out new cards.
Yep.
It's a real thematic game. We want
Yes.
to stick with the theme. This is not a bunch of new cards. This is flight. And we
Right.
went and we read a lot about flight and we understood how there are benefits and detriments. In fact, birds have to eat more food than any other species on this planet. So we've simulated that. So we want to do things like a climate expansion.
Right.
So we put in
Nice.
climate and a disease
Excellent.
expansion. We want to do
Excellent.
an underwater expansion. We really want to focus on the ecosystem. This is
Right.
a game about an ecosystem that's evolving, and you've got to adapt.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
So that's the future of evolution.
And what's the past of North Star?
And future. That's the
Sure.
future. The staples.
Well, I think probably the game that we're most well known for is Wits and Wagers.
Absolutely.
One exciting thing was right around Christmas last year, we sold our 1 millionth Wits and Wagers
Wow.
game.
Yes.
Yeah.
So cool.
Thank you. So we're very excited about that. People can find Wits and Wagers, all over the place now, and we have a party edition, a family version, and we are relaunching the original Wits and Wagers as a Wits and Wagers Deluxe in June, and that'll
cool.
have souped up components,
Nice.
same price as before, but
Wow.
it'll have some cooler poker chips. Better matte dry erase markers with erasers,
Wow.
like premium cardboard poker chips instead of the thin plastic ones.
Wow.
So yeah, it'll be a souped up version of Wits and Wagers. And then our Say Anything that line is going strong as well. That's probably our second most well known, and luckily that's in a lot of places now too. And we're starting to get close to 500,000 copies of that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
Very cool. Very
yeah.
cool.
Thank you.
We got more people in here, so that the line is growing.
I have
So
to say, I'm so glad you're releasing a new version of Wits and Wagers. I opened my copy a couple weeks ago, and Marker had exploded.
Oh,
we're covering that
but no, it was just I think I put a different marker in though. I think I put in like my own dry erase marker for some reason and made and it exploded. But of course,
void.
me being me, I didn't think the marker would explode. I'm like, oh no, black mold. So like I immediately threw it out, got rid of the garbage, and only like the next day. No, the marker just exploded. It wasn't black mold. What are you thinking?
So now you got to buy a deluxe version.
He'll stay here so he can complain about my games.
That's his extra skill.
That's
what Cardi
So
pulled.
how about our customer service? Do you actually know what we do? We offer free replacement parts for the life of the game.
Oh well,
Contact customer service, you'll get all new pens.
that was what I should have done.
Yep.
Instead of,
What I did was this.
I have heard great things about the customer service from North Star, so I can vouch from the customer side that it has always been amazing. So again, thank you guys for popping on, and we got more people on.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for
Yeah,
being on the
up
music.
here.
We've got
So,
to clap
all
for
right.
Stephen Glenn when he comes on.
That's right.
Well, I mean,
Now the question is, how do I get out of here?
I don't know.
Five. Who's next?
Stephen Glenn with 3 new games.
Yeah.
All right. I get the comfortable chair.
You get the comfortable.
All
So,
right, great.
if you don't know, we've been trying to get Steven on this show since like the
Before,
inception
no,
of the
before, yeah, the inception of the show. One of the first people we ever asked
This
before
guy
it was
right here.
even a show. Stephen
Right.
Glenn.
And he told us no.
And he-
I don't think I said no. I didn't. I said it was too late. Well, you guys start at midnight.
No,
we started
now.
11.
You start at 11,
But Eastern
Yeah.
Standard Time.
but it's over at midnight.
It is over.
It's very late. I'm very old,
He's
Yeah.
very, very old.
and I'm not camera
As you
friendly.
can tell by all the graying hair.
This I don't believe.
no.
Anyway.
He's very.
But
Thank you for. letting me do
I'm
this.
so excited you're here.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
I am for reals.
Okay. Thank you. That's very kind of you. To
I
say.
don't get fanboyish about lots of guys, well, guys especially. But
Wow.
my first year at the gathering, I saw Steven walking down the hall, and
Well, I have a
saw
story about this, so keep going.
I saw his name tag, and I just couldn't not talk about him with him. I just had to approach him and say, you make this great game, and it's Balloon Cup, by the way.
Mhm. One of my favorites.
That I've loved ever since I
Thank you.
bought it, and then I got to talk to Steven, and that was like my fanboy moment.
Yeah.
And ever since then, it hasn't. I haven't had that feeling about anybody except Steven.
Well, you and Jay came up to me and were asking me about Pinata, which is the
Mhm.
Yeah.
redux of Balloon Cup, and I told you about the changes.
Yeah.
And the reaction was immediately,
Don't do it! Don't ruin the perfection.
My perfect game.
I didn't even realize it until even while we were preparing the concept of the show, and we started brainstorming episodes, like what we could focus on.
Yep.
And we went, oh well, we should do an episode on 2-player games. And we're like, oh, what are our favorite 2-player games? And then we realized we had a list of Stephen Glenn games. And so then we were like, okay, what other games? And then we started naming other games to think of ideas. And again, you popped up on the list.
well, that's very
So-
nice. Thank you.
Not only that, but that was before a whole bunch of new games coming out. So why don't you tell our guests some of the newest games that have come out from you?
Okay, within the last 6 months
Yeah.
or so, Rattlebones,
Rattlebones.
which I've been waiting
Woo!
6 years for,
So cool.
finally came
All of
out.
us
Thank
have
you.
to.
I haven't actually played it. I've only seen it, and I'm
Okay.
blown. My mind is
I
blown
picked
because
apart
of
the
the dice. That's
Yeah,
what I
it's
did. I
neat.
played
Well,
with the dice.
it was inspired by Dominion,
Okay.
which is one of my favorite games of all time. We were
Yeah.
playing it with a friend of mine who said, "Wouldn't it be great if there were a collectible dice game?"
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the immediate, yeah, of course, yes,
Of course.
that's great.
Yeah.
So the first version of a prototype I had was something very similar to Quarriors.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Couldn't get that to work.
Yeah.
So I eventually thought, what about changing the dice sides? So
Yeah.
It's
I
okay.
had to
Eric,
make
Eric
a-
got it to work.
Thank you, Eric.
He might pop up.
I couldn't
so.
do what Eric was able to do
Yeah.
with that version of the idea, but so made little wooden cubes with Velcro, and it was
Oh.
the dice were about this big, and they bounced because of the Velcro.
because of the give.
But yeah, had a very hard time. This was 2009 that I pitched
Wow.
that here,
really,
and had a very hard time selling it because people just said we can't afford this.
Sure.
It's too expensive.
the practicals.
And Dale Yu, I was fortunate enough that he was watching a play test, and he ran over and got Jay Tummelson and brought him over.
Wow.
So
That's really cool.
after I showed it to Jay, sold it on the spot.
Yeah.
Really?
6
So-
years
And
later.
6 years later,
Just like that.
it was-
Just like
right,
that.
right.
So
also,
it's true. You can actually sell a game right on the spot.
you can, sure.
Does that happen a lot?
To me, no.
Oh, I was gonna say to you, yes, but maybe not to the
And then let's see which one. Spike.
Spike.
Let's talk about Loomis first.
Okay.
Because I had the idea for Loomis first.
Okay.
I love Hex. I
Yes.
love Twix. These are 2-player abstracts.
Yes.
But very thinky, no luck, and I love 2-player games, as
Yeah.
I've already said.
Very
And
incredible.
I thought it would be nice to have a version of Hex that was family friendly.
Yep.
So I came up with Loomis, 2 players or 2 teams of 2.
Right.
Working together,
Yeah.
which is the way the game shines, if I may.
Yeah,
say.
that's the ideal play state.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
But it's only 2 or 4.
I haven't played yet, so I'm gonna make sure I play 4.
He gave me a copy
I heard that
because I gave him a copy.
Right, we traded.
We
We
traded
a little
copies.
behind the scenes designer.
I want to do a trade.
shenanigans.
Like, come on.
Well,
where was the
maybe
negotiation?
we will.
I just don't make enough games
Trade
to be
shirts.
worth trading.
Trade shirts right now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like soccer
This
players.
got late.
Well, they did say we were making a movie in a hotel room.
Yeah, and we would only be about 5 minutes.
So, but anyway, so Loomis,
Yes.
had that here, pitched or showed it to a few companies. And it was like, thanks, we actually had fun, but we don't see it fitting in our line.
Sure.
So I sent that away to Cosmos.
I was just gonna say, how
already
did you get it to Cosmos?
I mailed it to them.
Just boom.
Well, I already had a relationship with them with Balloon Cup.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
So I said, would you like to see this? And they said, well, tell us a little bit about it. So
Sure.
I said it was a 2-player or a partnership game. They said, well, the German market's probably not going to be interested in a partnership game.
Right.
I said, I'd like to send it to you anyway, because I think it's a good fit. So I sent it to them, and a few months later, sitting at my kitchen table, I got the email that said, we're going to do it. And that was one of those great moments, because I knew it was a good game.
Yeah.
I mean, I really had a great time play testing it.
Yeah.
And it's been almost 2 years since I've played it, because once they get it,
Sure.
I don't hear from them.
Right.
Right.
It's which a lot of publishers will keep you involved heavily in the process, which can be a positive or a negative.
Yep.
And some will keep you won't have any. But I trust Cosmos is gonna do the right thing with the game.
They do have a lot of
They
good
made
games.
one change. They added a card limit, but other than that, it's the way I submitted it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Wow.
Spike, if we want to go to the third game, was actually inspired by the systems in Loomis.
Oh,
I
neat.
thought, wouldn't it be neat to, if you notice, they both have the Ticket to Ride system of
Right.
playing
Mhm.
cards that match spaces on the board.
Yep.
So I owe Alan Moon a lot for these
Mhm.
ideas.
Don't we all?
And
Millions.
Yeah.
I thought
I mean, soon.
I thought it would be interesting if the ideas on Loomis could be a train game.
Right.
Mhm.
So is Evan here?
Yeah.
there he is.
Yeah.
Who's Evan Derrick, one of my major play testers. We spent about 2 years getting this ready. Play tested it,
I was again another person I saw walking
So-
around with a copy of a game that I want, but
which is
well deserved.
Dark Moon.
No.
Is that what we're talking about?
Well, that too, but I saw him
That's
walking around
outstanding.
with Spike, and
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, give that to me. And I mean, he
So-
earned it for lots of play testing.
The main design obstacles I had with Spike
Mhm.
was making it not too much like Ticket to Ride.
Sure.
because
Right.
It's obviously inspired by Ticket to Ride
Yeah.
with playing the cards. So I almost know exactly why Alan made every single design decision in
Right.
Ticket to Ride, because I
You
want to do
studied
the
it.
same thing.
Sure.
And I said, I can't do that. That's Alan's.
Right.
So
So how talk us a little bit more about that, because that
That's
intrigues
fascinating.
me. Like, how do you differentiate when you keep stumbling into why he chose that? Well, then where do you go?
Well, my
from
secret is, trying 99 things that don't work,
there? Yeah,
and then finally the 100th thing does.
I believe that.
Yeah, that's really what
Yeah.
it comes down to, and again, thanking my play testers, Evan being a major one.
Yeah.
The concept of I don't know if you've played it,
I haven't yet. No,
but the
I played last
concept.
night. It was great.
I have.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I played it.
Thank you very much.
I'm super excited about that.
Concept
And my
of the
wife's excited
train.
about that one.
The concept of the train being able to move on its own
Yeah.
once you get it started.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the idea that pushed it over the edge.
Right. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
sitting because before it was either a straight shot, and you played cards
Sure.
to move the train, and you had to have cards to move the train, and that was kind of a drag because, you might not have the cards to move the train.
Mhm. Right.
And I thought, well, why would I need cards to move a train if it's in motion?
Yeah.
So that
It's
was
going.
kind of the idea that said, well, and that speeds the game up too.
Right.
Mhm.
So
Cool.
once I had that, a lot of things fell into place very quickly.
Interesting.
And I pitched that was last spring. a year ago. Well, I had been working with R&R Games.
Yep.
You have quite a few titles with
You have
Yeah.
a lot of
A
titles.
lot of
with
titles.
them.
Yeah, they're a great company. Frank DeLorenzo is a
Yes.
great guy. He's fun.
Absolutely.
He's very
Dan's all right too.
enthusiastic.
Dan's all right.
No, Dan DeLorenzo's he's a great guy too.
Absolutely. And I have to also ask you about, because I got my first time experience of this at the Gathering of Friends, and it was a hoot, and you are a veteran in the werewolf world. Can you tell us a little bit about werewolf here at the Gathering for people that don't know what they're missing out on? It's incredible.
Werewolf, I don't play a lot of werewolf anywhere else,
Right.
but here,
Right.
so I can't compare it to.
So tell people what it is. What happens? What does it look like here? Because it is its own beast.
Well, last
really
night
is.
we had a game with an unfortunate number of people. I think we
Yes.
had 22.
Yeah,
So
it was.
that
It was
can
big.
get-
was emailing me saying, "Son, come down and play. You don't need more players." 22.
That can
Yeah.
get really
It was
hairy,
rowdy.
but I mean, days take so long to
Yeah.
get through. I can't compare it to any other
Yep.
version. But I mean, every day is almost like an episode of Perry Mason. Trying to, figure out the mystery and, accusations.
Yeah.
And I mean, really dramatic. I mean,
Yes.
people will get angry at each
Yeah.
other. And,
It carries.
and when it's, exactly. The meta game of, well, last night you did this
Yeah.
and now I know you've got to tell. And I mean, it's incredible. And I ran the games last night.
Well.
And so being the moderator with 22 people and trying to get, it's worse than a classroom of middle school.
Absolutely.
And I've had experience doing both.
Yes.
Yes, you-
So,
Yes.
but it's fantastic.
It was
You know?
awesome, and I can't even imagine how cool it is night after night after night.
Yeah, and the problem is that they stay up so
Yes.
late doing it.
Yeah,
And I
how do you
really,
survive?
I don't. I'm miserable, the next day because for some reason my body clock just says,
Yeah.
it's 8:00, wake up. I don't care if you went to sleep at 7.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Before we let you go,
Yes,
I
sir.
have to ask: are there any titles that you're pitching or are coming that you can hint at or tell us a little bit to look forward to? Anything that you're allowed. Don't want to get you in trouble.
I understand. I actually have a game coming out with R&R hopefully this summer.
Cool.
It's a light 2 to 4 player game.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I'm allowed to say
That's
about
fair.
it, but
That's
I
fair.
won't.
Well, just
Um,
stay tuned for that then.
But the name of it is Gobblestones.
Okay.
Cobblestone.
Yes, which I actually named by Brett Myers. I don't know if
Yes.
he's been on the show,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he came up with the name of it. I don't know if I can describe the mechanics, but that's the name of the game. It's
Cool.
family
We'll look
all the
forward
way,
to it.
all the way.
We look forward to
And
it.
I the one game I pitched this year was even lighter than that. It's a children's game.
Okay.
The working title is Butterfly.
Okay.
And I can talk about it because I haven't sold it yet.
Well then, yeah. Let's
And,
hear about it.
Just the thematically, it's about a butterfly that's flying from flower to flower, and you're
Yeah.
trying to get it to land on your flowers.
Cool.
And it's just
Cool.
very light and fun and
Fun, family
yeah,
friendly.
simultaneous action, which I love.
Yes.
Can you do it after dark edition? Euphemism.
What?
We'll publish it.
Okay, I think I just sold
There
the
you
game
go.
here on your show.
That's how it's
Oh,
done,
that's
folks.
how it's done. I mean, that's what we like. We like supporting designers on the People Surf Show, so we try to make it happen.
Yeah.
And if
Great.
not, if it doesn't work out here, then we can have a lineup waiting of other publishers watching.
I'm so
Second
glad I
and
came.
third.
There you go.
Thank you.
Great.
All right.
Well, thank you for staying up.
Well, you're
for
certainly
finally
welcome.
coming on the
well,
show.
we're
Well, it's the
still gonna
gathering of
keep-
friends. This is the happiest place on earth.
Yeah, kind of is.
So I'm gonna go back down and play some more games.
All right.
Nice.
All right,
Thank you.
Maybe even some werewolf.
Maybe some werewolf.
All right, guys.
All
Thanks,
right, we'll
everybody.
see you later.
All right, appreciate it.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. And you heard about this awesome.
No, it's all
You,
right.
you heard about our awesome playtester, but also designer, artist. He's been on the show before. Our friend Evan Derrick.
Hello.
And if you
Where do I
don't know, it's you look right at
That?
yeah.
Yeah, you
that
look
thing?
there or
Yeah.
you look
All right,
here.
cool.
So for those of you who
Hi.
don't know, which will probably be 99.999% of you, it's Evan's birthday today.
Yay! We got 24 minutes.
I'm 24. So,
Yeah.
24 minutes left of your birthday.
no. Oh yeah.
The
Well,
same
I'm also
thing.
24.
He's 24. That was decided at dinner, wasn't it?
So-
I think it was.
I want to do something funny. I think
Please.
last time I was on the show, talked about-
You got an idea?
designers. No,
Oh.
not
Sorry.
that. Not that
Okay.
idea.
I'm still excited.
Different
about that.
idea
Okay.
about designers reading mean reviews.
Oh! Yes!
So I have one for you,
Yes!
and you, and you, and you, and you.
So everyone in the room has a bad review to read, right?
That's perfect.
All right. So
I can't believe this is happening. This
unfortunately,
is so cool.
everyone else in the room is like a more prolific designer than me
Yeah.
and has better reviews. I
Right.
tried to find the worst one for my own game, and it's okay.
Okay.
So I'll start.
Okay.
All right.
Start
So
us
this is a
off.
review for BSG Express, which became Dark Moon.
Which we will be
Yes,
talking
which I
about.
said.
Is
Awesome.
All right.
And play.
All right. Ready?
come on in.
Woo, people.
So this says, I wanted all the meaty, tensiony goodness of BSG in a quicker format. Maybe it's not possible. Not interesting.
Oh.
All
right, who
All
knows
right,
who's
ready? All right, Daryl, you're next.
Oh,
so
man.
you have to read it's the name of the game on there, and then flip it over and read the review.
Oh man. Walled City. Oh, this is a little long. The board it sometimes becomes ghastly a mess of influence clustering together all over the place. At last, my name is not on the box, so I have to do with what I am offered. Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Your turn.
So this is for me, and it's for the game Belfort. From the loneliness banana. And we know why you're lonely. This extremely dull bag of pointlessness offers no moments of joy. If you want to solve a math puzzle, try something interesting, like calculus problems. Fun, period, not period, included, period. Single tier.
Oh,
All right,
all right.
Satisha's turn.
I can't believe you remembered to do this.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
This is the best ever.
You gotta lean in
All
this
right.
way. Yeah,
I guess I feel like maybe Dom should be reading this one, but this is for wits. This is for Wits and Wagers. Wits and whatever.
Great name.
Let's publish that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming soon.
Expansion coming next June. Look for it.
I'd like to. All right. Well, I'd like to point out that I have the smallest one, so this should be pretty quick and painless, right? So this is for.
And the smallest message too.
Yeah, like, that's what I mean. The smallest message. So how bad could it be?
How
You know,
bad?
like those tiny chocolates. You
So
know,
what game is it for?
This is for Prolix, my word game. Sounds more like a medicine or porn flick than a game. That's really. That the best you got? That's the best you can.
All right.
Oh,
Next,
come
next.
on. I mean, I got medicine down, so maybe that's my next game, porn flick. Okay, I'm gonna work on something, guys. I'll be right back.
Can I just say it from here?
No,
No,
you gotta say it on.
You gotta say it on air.
Is this a family-friendly show?
No.
Oh, great.
There you
It
go.
is
Say
on
whatever
the
you
left
want.
This is
clock.
my favorite review of any game, and it happens to be mine.
For
Oh, whoops.
And you
For-
read this
For
one?
Balloon Cup.
Oh.
Balloon Cup equals shit. Bye.
All right. So now that that's over, and we're gonna have to do this yearly, apparently,
Oh,
because
that was
it's
good.
ridiculous.
Dude, so thankful.
Thank you so
Although,
much.
You're very
no,
welcome.
we still gotta talk to this guy.
I
though.
know, but thank you so much
This
for doing
was
that.
That was wonderful. You still have the challenge, though. I'm not letting you
Yeah.
off the hook.
So
5-player
Five
game,
players.
5 players only.
Yes.
It can't work with any other player
and it
count.
can't just be in the rules. This game must be played by 5
Yeah.
players. It has
I
to
know.
be only 5 players.
I'm waiting for it.
So we gave Evan a challenge. Well, Evan actually gave
Give
himself.
himself the
Yeah.
challenge.
I think I said challenge.
I feel like you're a
accepted.
little cocky at
I
the
was-
moment.
I was proud. Yes.
Yeah, he was high on something.
Yes.
Goofballs. So, anyways, let's talk to Evan Derrick about his game. Well, it's not that anymore. It'll be Dark Moon.
The Stronghold games.
Stronghold Games
Yes.
coming out. Origins, you said?
Yes.
today?
Like
Excellent, because we're gonna be there.
Yeah, we're gonna be at
then
Origins.
2 months.
It's
And
soon.
it's in
Yeah,
something,
something like that.
Yeah,
2
which
months.
is awesome,
Awesome.
and amazing. And tell us about the game.
So Dark Moon is your, miners on a planet, and some of you get infected, and you become homicidal psychopaths trying to burn the world to the ground.
Yeah, well, it's-
Kind of like
yeah.
a gathering of friends.
Yeah.
Pretty much, just
Yeah.
like it. So it's the perfect game if you like backstabbing your friends and making them feel terrible.
Awesome.
I got to play this. It was wonderful. I mean, I played with wonderful people.
Who'd you play with?
I played with Adam and Nicole
Oh, yeah.
and Devin
Yes.
and John, and
I think that's it.
what was that?
Yeah, you're
Sean.
Sean.
Yes.
Six. Jackman, yeah.
And it was great. But my favorite moment, I don't know if you remember because you probably
I
played it
remember.
so much. You remember?
Yeah.
So the infected people. I don't want to spoil the game too much, but I mean, everyone gets the concept of like there's traitors and and that it's in their best interest to stay hidden for most of the game, and then when tides turn and circumstances change, then they need to out themselves and then try to crush you. And they had just outed themselves and were about to crush us. We were failing. The idea is that you roll dice and you have to contribute at least one dice. And so, like, the good guys kept rolling negatives, and the bad guys kept rolling negatives, and so we were going to fail this, and it comes all the way around to the last roll. We're way down, and he only has one dice, and he rolls a +3, and he passes it, saving us, and then we win the game the next turn.
That's right.
All because the infected person helped save the world.
Yeah.
So it was glorious.
It tends to have. I'm really thankful. It tends to have some great little moments like that.
The whole table erupted,
Yeah.
and the entire room of like 200 people were like, "What's going on?" Oh, I get it. Yeah.
So if you like trader games like Battlestar Galactica and the Resistance and stuff like that, this is like a 60-minute version of those. So it's a little longer than the Resistance.
Shorter than Battlestar.
Little thicker than a party game.
Yep.
But it won't take you 3 hours.
Yeah, and it wasn't complicated. It's just it's a right amount of time to get to build the paranoia and get information. So I wouldn't say it's complicated. I actually think it's fairly straightforward and easy to teach. It's just it takes that amount of time to really start turning on each other and double guessing. And
one of the things that is nice about it, and I think one of the reasons why people really like it, which I could like pat myself on the back and say I designed it this way, but it's just a happy accident.
Yep. We know those.
Yeah.
We take credit for
I thought you were going to say it was a happy ending.
No.
I'm not sure.
But it really you're on display when you have to make your choices.
Yes.
And
Right.
so
That's
if
really
you're
fun.
making a bad choice,
Yep.
your acting ability has to be really good. And so it really forces players to act really well. They can't just hide behind the game or the components or their cards or anything.
Right.
And so it really puts you on display.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean,
And so for people, I will say this, if you have a really bad poker face,
sure.
my game will kick you in the balls.
I don't want that.
So-
I don't want that.
But
you learn pretty quickly. Like
Yes.
even if it happens once or twice, you might
Okay,
actually
give
even
us your
get
best
away
poker
with it.
face. I just did mine. Give us your best one.
it's not very good.
Before you go, I wanted to ask you favorite game of the gathering so far.
Yes.
Because we get to play tons of new
Tons
games,
of pre-release,
tons of games that
sneak
haven't been
peeks.
released yet.
And we'll let you off the
expansions.
hook. You can say if you don't have one.
No, I do have one.
Oh,
Yeah,
excellent.
I do have one.
Is it the one that I'm going to say?
That you didn't like? Yes, probably.
Really?
Yes.
That's not
Your
bad.
favorite, and you haven't swung the other way yet?
No.
Wow.
No, he won't because
He
he
said
didn't
his
play it.
ways.
He didn't play it the right way.
Yeah.
What?
No,
Because it's grown on you a lot, right?
yes.
Like
has.
it's still.
Do you know what we're talking about?
Maybe.
Yes. Oh
What do you
yeah.
think we're talking about?
I thought you were talking about Time Story.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
talking about Time Stories.
Yeah.
How did I play it wrong?
No. I'll explain it in a second. So there's a game called Time Stories. It's coming out from Space Cowboys, the guys that did Splendor
Yep.
and
And
Black Fleet,
which I need to
and
find my copy of
Elysium,
Black
I guess is their new one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's Time Stories, and it's this wonderful. It's about time travel, and it's this wonderful cooperative, choose your own adventure,
Mhm.
puzzle solving.
You can't say too
mystery
much
game.
about it because it's on the
you
lowdown.
can't say too much about it because we don't want to ruin it.
For your own good.
but-
We actually care about you, so we're not going to spoil it.
But
We love you.
But the way,
It's really
yes,
good.
we do. We really do. I love you. Heart thing right here.
Yeah.
So, but the idea is that the game will come with these different modules, these scenarios that you buy, and they each come with like about 150 cards or so, give or take some. And each of those is a brand new experience, a brand new game.
Yes.
Now, because we're gamers and we're here at a convention, we tend to like totally blast through. I mean, it's all about evaluation.
Yeah.
So this is the way I played it when I played it the first time. This is the way you played it when you played it. It's just like brute force. We're going through, solve
Yeah.
everything. We've only got 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
We got to get this done. And I really think that's not the way. I think the game's meant to be like savored.
Yes,
like a fine wine.
So again,
I don't like wine.
this is why I would say my experience was so wonderful. Again, I played with Adam and Nicole and Sean, and the first reader set the tone instantly because Adam gets a card, and all of a sudden it's a show.
Right?
He's presenting and reading things, and there's long pauses, and so just it was on.
But it's definitely not like a gamer's game.
Right.
It's not a thing. And so when we played it, honestly, at some point I wasn't really having fun.
Right.
Because we were just kind of, all right, let's go in this room. Are we done? Oh, we got to do it all over again. We're done with this.
Right.
But I think that if I had a chance to sit down like with my wife and play it,
and
we played a little bit one night and a little bit the
Yeah.
next night.
Yes.
It's kind of like when you play video games.
Yes,
and,
exactly.
You know, or eat Pringles. You know, the
Yes.
first couple are
Yes.
really good. The first couple of hours of a video game are really good.
Yeah.
But at some point, you're
like,
just like, you're still playing, but you're not having fun anymore. You're just unlocking okay, I got to find these rings and these coins, and that letter's hidden somewhere. And oh my gosh, I've been playing for this 6 hours. This is just like a job now.
Yeah.
Or why am I still eating these Pringles? These are awful.
Yeah.
So it's
Good
kind
analogy.
but if you like spread it out, I think that it's a wonderful experience.
I agree.
It's totally ambitious. No one's ever tried anything like this before. I love how I'm talking more about this game than my own.
Hey, it's okay. It's all right.
So,
well, then hopefully they'll talk about yours.
but what did you think? I know that you weren't crazy about it.
I liked it. I mean, I respect it. Didn't we say that about another game today?
Yeah, that's the nice way to say you didn't like a game.
Oh no! But the thing is that
you said you respected all my no.
I liked it. I respect the design effort that went into it. It is very much like a choose your own adventure book. It's an experience. It's a decent experience. There's some, if you know RPG terms like grinding and fetch quests, it's kind of what it feels like at times. And I don't know. We'll see. Because I hear some of the other modules that they're coming out with have a totally different feel, have a totally different type of system.
We just had one here, and we were testing specifically this one.
And so
it's not even the first one that people will get to try.
Eric will probably come and smack me over the head when he sees me and says, "That's not the way you're supposed to play it," or whatever, because he loves it and he keeps telling me about it. And says, "That's the best game ever."
Eric Martin, you are correct.
I mean, I really like it. It's not my favorite, but it was wonderful.
Cool. I think it's just so fresh and new, and no one's tried something like this before, and I'm just really excited.
It's beautiful.
And it's absolutely gorgeous.
It's refreshing to see someone try something.
Yep. But I also could tell every red herring in the story off the as soon as I saw it. It's like, oh, that's a red herring.
But you let them all do it anyway.
No, we group decided, and I was voted down. So it's like, oh, whatever you want to do. And so that also kind of made me not like it so much, because I would never have done that and wasted that time and had this inefficient score.
Right.
So, anyway.
Well, thank you guys
Thanks
very
so much, dude. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy 24th birthday.
Enjoy the last 10 minutes of 24.
All right.
Or the beginning.
I'm going to go drink whiskey.
Whiskey it up.
Yeah, all right. Whiskey.
Thank you.
See you in a bit.
See you later.
We have our friend, game artist in Canada, wonderful designer, Al LeDuc. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here. I'm really tired.
We understand.
We understand.
We appreciate that you were willing to take the late slot, be flexible, and join us.
My room is 2 doors down. I didn't think I could sneak by without you noticing.
We would have probably tackled you and dragged you in here anyways.
Yes.
So
go first.
Yeah,
because Al designed Frank and Die.
Yes.
And Al is working really hard on a couple other designs with our friend Yves by himself.
Yep.
And one thing that I noticed, I noticed that you are doing probably more than anybody here, except maybe Kevin Wilson, is actual designing.
Yes.
Right here at the gathering.
Yeah.
And getting iterations and iterations and iterations and iterations of good playtests done and modifications done. How is working here at the gathering different than working, say, back home in Ottawa?
Well, the biggest difference is the turnaround from a play test to changing to testing again.
Yep.
Okay, that is one of the biggest differences. The other biggest difference is the different people that you can try it on, different perspectives. Because in Ottawa, it's it's a bit of a microcosm, and it's nice to have a design group to meet with on a regular basis here.
I'm often jealous of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you need even more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here I'm getting all sorts of people looking at it and
different perspectives. Like you're having other designers like Matt Leacock play. You're having publishers. You're having agents. So they're all telling you nice different angles to look at. Like what are people looking for? What are people thinking of cost? What are people thinking of the sales pitch? All that kind of stuff. What are some of those nuggets that you're learning that you'd be willing to share? An example or anything like that.
Matt Leacock and Peter Egert.
Yeah.
They both thought it was too long.
Right.
So the next time I play tested it.
Yep.
That was with I think the Asmodee guys. As I was packing it up, I'm like, okay, well the next time I'm going to do it 2 turns shorter.
Yeah.
And start with feeding.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a planned play test then, but and that worked. There are no comments on the
and then it's
at that time. That
then
was
you
fine.
check that off, and you can work on something else.
Yeah.
So a lot of good actionable feedback, and then you make the change and you go. Have you found the quality of gamers here and the feedback that they give to be high? The good quality stuff?
Yes. I haven't really tested with that many just straight gamers. Mostly it's been with other designers and publishers and whatnot. But yeah, so it's been really good. It's really primarily really, really useful feedback.
Yep.
And maybe a bit of I really like this kind of thing, and I really like this kind of thing.
For sure.
Maybe I'm less excited about that kind of thing. So
absolutely.
And I know that you've been sitting with Gaetan a lot, Gaetan Bourgeonneau from Forge Next. He's an agent from France, specifically dealing in board games. So he'll take somebody's design and represent it for other companies, so that a designer doesn't have to do that work if they can't get to the conventions or in totally different countries like France. What have you learned from him? Not specifically about your game, but about pitching and all that kind of stuff, because that's what I hear you guys talking about a lot.
Yeah, he's got some ideas on sort of how to do pitches.
Cool.
A lot on when to do the pitch, sort of at what state of the game, who specifically sort of, to aim for.
Right.
And because I'm kind of throw everything out there, see what sticks.
Yeah, absolutely.
I meet the publisher. Here's my book of 7 prototypes. Minute pitch on each one. Turn a page, minute pitch. Which one do you want to see sort of afterwards? It's sort of how I've been rolling.
Sure.
Because I don't know what you want. I suspect this, but I'll show you that because it's here. It only takes a minute, just to talk it up. So
he's helping you kind of craft or guide what to say and what not to say.
Well, yeah, and a little bit of actually. You probably shouldn't show them this.
Right.
And in this order, because, they might be thinking after the first couple, okay, this guy doesn't have my kind of stuff, and maybe tune out a little bit by the time you get to the stuff that is their range. So it's like, okay, I should do it in this order. If I've got them engaged with these 2 ideas that are in their ballpark, they're like, okay, this guy's got some stuff.
Interesting.
Now I'm going to pay attention and see if the kind of thing I'm looking for is in his other ones. And if it's not there, it's not there. But at least you gain some credibility.
Right. Yeah.
It'd be different, with Belfort. You've got some credibility
exactly
already. Yeah. It's like, oh, he's already done that, so they've. But in my case, I need to show something that okay, there's some spark here. There's something.
Except remember that with Belfort, fun. Not included.
That's right.
We read bad credits for anyone who's tuned in later.
Just watch
earlier.
It's pretty freaking hilarious.
Well, I wrote that, so that's why I thought.
Oh, you wrote that?
No, that was someone else.
I actually believed for a second. I was like, "What's happening? This is the greatest moment now."
You wrote that?
Yeah, I forgot that was anonymous, but yeah. So. Were there any questions before I leave?
No. We appreciate you popping it out. Good luck with playtesting, but also pitching games. We appreciate. We're looking forward to hearing maybe next year This is a success story you can share about
This
from
year.
this year. Yeah.
I hope there is one.
Yeah, me too.
We're looking forward to it.
Great. Well, thanks.
See ya.
See ya.
You haven't pitched to me.
It's coming.
You haven't pitched to me?
Who's on next?
Have you pitched to Sean?
No.
Well, what's up?
We got deals being made over here. We got to pull one of these guys over. Who's coming first? Ed, come sit down. We'll have Sean next.
Hello.
Come grab a seat.
hey.
Where? No, one sec.
Is there a beer?
Is there a
I have ciders.
You want a cider?
At this late at night?
You're the one that asked. Oh yeah, I should put those on to put my feet up.
Yeah. You can't even take them out of the package?
I have this guy out of the package. This guy's not out yet.
I could take these out of the package.
Hello, everybody out there. All 5 of you? 6? How many?
No, there's more
5.
eventually.
Yeah.
So-
well, that only shows through Google Plus, not YouTube.
Not YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
So it's very strange.
Thousands.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's hope so.
So welcome, Ed. Ed is the representative here at the Gathering of Friends from Toy Vault. Toy Vault does board games. They do novelty plushes, such as My First Cthulhu. They do all sorts of stuff. And Ed is a designer, a developer, and a representative for the company. And he is awesome because he keeps me on task.
I was just gonna say, there is no one that Sen has spent more time with at this gathering.
Not even Jay.
Not even Jay.
No, it's Jay.
Really?
Because Jay's whenever when I'm with him, I'm with Jay. But that's
I'm pretty good looking.
They are hard at work at a great game, and I'm hearing some progress is being made that's going well.
Yeah.
Well, we're in the 1 step back phase and about to go 4 steps forward.
I hear the momentum's even shifting. It's going well.
Yeah. Things are going well. It's just when your spreadsheet is 100 and odd columns deep.
For anyone not aware, we're talking Godzilla.
Yeah,
Yes.
Godzilla.
It's gonna be great.
Godzilla, the card game, is going to be wonderful. It's just that it's growing pains, like literally growing pains. When we add a column to the spreadsheet, we have to make sure that everything that references those other columns actually works, and sometimes it doesn't.
Because the idea is like they're gonna release some packs, and then over time more packs, and they got to be able to work together so that as someone makes their custom deck, it still works in balance and synergizes and all that.
Yeah,
fun
it's
stuff.
part of that, and just part of Google Docs just not working exactly the way we thought it would. But
Learning.
blame Google.
Yeah, it's definitely the most ambitious project I've taken part of, and I think it's going to be my best project ever. I really, really like the direction we're going with it. I think it's definitely going to be in a gamer level of play. Most of our Toy Vault stuff is lighter, on the lighter end, but this one is going to be very meaty, I think, and lots of fun.
So Ed, can you tell us a little bit about either things you're seeing or things that might be upcoming for Toy Vault? Any hints or?
Well, we do a lot of licensed stuff, and we're not allowed to talk about a lot of it before. But I can talk about this week. We got an exciting Princess Bride Awfully. Yay! So that's real fun. The Firefly Fistful of Credits will be here fairly soon.
Cool.
That's a really light co-op game, board game. We also have Firefly Tall Card, which I designed. It's designed based on the card game that
they actually play in the show.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's a gambling game.
That
So
we
it's
don't know the real rules for.
not
So.
a gamer game, but it's an actual gambling game.
Yeah.
And I think it's fun.
Absolutely. Well, and
I'm biased.
I'm sure fans of the show and really the universe are going to be really excited about some more games coming out.
And we also have expansions for But Wait, There's More coming.
Yeah.
That's the best part. That'll be actually hitting retail probably in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. And then we have the 6-player expansion, and we have 3 little mini expansions that'll probably be all out by July at the latest.
Excellent.
So people can get those at their local game store, or they can go online and find.
You can actually, if you want them, you can buy them from our website. We're still waiting on the retail packaging, which is why it's not in stores yet.
Gotcha.
But if you don't care about the little piece of cardboard, you can buy it straight from toyvault.com.
Yep.
So Ed actually signed the game last year. But Wait, There's More?
No, it's 2 years.
2 years ago. Sorry.
Two
So, But
years.
Wait, There's More is done by Jay and myself. And 2 years ago at the gathering, we pitched it to Ed and took it away and said, yeah, let's do it. And then last year we talked about Godzilla and it's like, yeah, let's do it. And so this year, I mean, we're hoping that something else happens from that. But Ed, tell us about what you look for in a pitch.
Good question.
I really try to make the time to try the game, or at least get an idea of it. Because some people are good at pitching and some people aren't.
Exactly.
Designers, for the most part, aren't good at pitching.
Yeah,
that's right.
Jay is an exception.
He is.
That's
he
right.
is both a phenomenal designer and
I find that some designers are really timid and are afraid to approach you and afraid to talk about it.
Sure.
And you may miss a design that's really good simply because the guy is not
right. And really, they're supposed to design the game, not necessarily be the best pitch
They're not
person.
supposed to sell it. So so I try
There's people they can sell.
So I try to make the time to actually try it.
Right.
And if I can see something there, then I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
If I don't see something there, I try to provide why I don't see something there.
Yep.
And I'm a little unusual in that I'm really focusing on my licenses.
Yeah.
I want a Firefly game. I want a Princess Bride game. I want a Monty Python game.
Yeah.
I don't want an abstract game that says Monty Python on it.
Right. And you also don't want a game that, why would I play that when I could play another game that's the exact same game just because that game has a Monty Python license or a Firefly tagged on it?
Just on the skin. It's got to really got the meat.
Yeah, I have to feel like, this is the story. This is what the story's about. Or this is what the sketch is about. Or something like that. If it's Puerto Rico, that's a Puerto Rico game. It's not Firefly. It certainly has nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
They have brown pegs and brown cubes and stuff in Puerto Rico. Could be brown coats.
Okay, all right. Keep going.
Okay, so tell our viewers, for those of you who are designers, if you think you have a game that fits in a world where what man? We're in a world that has a license attached to it. What does that entail, Ed? I mean, I know because I've signed these contracts, but I want to hear it from you. What does that entail in terms of market penetration, in terms of residuals, in terms of all that kind of stuff, in terms of legal stuff?
So when you're dealing with licenses, it's tricky. Typically, it depends on the licensor. Some licensors are very easy to work with. Some are very hard to work with. But typically, if you want to do any publicity or anything, they need to prove it because they want to protect their license. And
sure.
They're
they have a brand they built
from that brand, and they don't want it messed up.
Yep.
So you get lots of situations where it could be 3, 4, 5 weeks before they say yes, you can go ahead and release that press release.
That communication.
Yeah, so it hurts. Like when you're on BGG and like, hey, can I get the rules for this game? I'm like, maybe in 6 weeks, but I can't say that. So it's coming, and you end up with not enough information, and people get a little upset. But there's really nothing you can do. You have to live with it.
Yeah, don't shoot the messenger, people. Patience.
And in terms of,
and sometimes it's not always the licensor's fault. Sometimes it falls on publishers as well.
Right.
Sure.
Not us. In all respects.
So, and in terms of sales with a license versus without a license, what do you think the difference is there?
Well, really depends. That also depends on the license.
Right.
But from my experience, Toy Vault's best-selling games are always licensed games.
Right.
Always, and usually almost by an order of magnitude.
Right. So 10 times as many.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And lastly, just because I know you've told me in the past that you have trouble finding people to make licensed games, what licenses do you have access to that you would love to have games for?
Yeah, priority list kind of stuff.
Princess Bride.
Princess Bride.
All right.
Monty
My
Python.
name is Inigo Montoya. Monty Python.
Firefly, we have quite a few right now. It's a little on the list. Godzilla, we have one in development right now, but
there's still room for more.
We might want more.
Yep.
But if it's a really good game, I want to see it.
Right.
You can email me, toyvault, staff@toyvault.com.
Yep.
With a little summary, and it sounds interesting, we'll certainly ask for the rules. And we're willing to work with first timers, and we're willing to work with industry professionals. Just make sure the game's decent and make sure it actually belongs with the license and it's not just pasted on, because we just won't take it.
Right. And the other ones are Jim Henson stuff, right?
Yes. Jim Henson. We did Jim
Like
Henson
Dark
movies,
Crystal,
Labyrinth and Dark Crystal.
Farscape.
Yep.
TV show. And that's all the ones that we currently signed. But
Awesome.
There's others in the works.
Okay.
Excellent. Well,
Excellent.
Ed, always we appreciate you popping on the show, and also we love Toy Vault being a sponsor of our
It's
show.
a good-looking hat you got there.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
Do
So
you have a hat like that?
I didn't even have a hat like that.
well, I had to custom get it made just in time
That's
for our
cool.
gathering.
One
so
of a kind.
One of a kind
Okay.
so far. But I am going to try to get a few other colors so I can mix it up.
Well, that's the 12 colors, man.
I know,
No,
well,
the
just the
hat.
hat.
Okay.
Just
All
the
right.
hat. I mean, I wouldn't mess with this perfection. But we appreciate you being on the show, and we have another guest.
What, you're kicking me out for Sean?
We
Yeah,
are.
I-
Sean?
You-
Mr. B Games?
You're the one that brought it.
I was
man.
like,
Oh
wait a
my
second.
God. I can't believe you're kicking me out for him.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead, Sean.
Man.
Oh, man.
How do I follow that up, Ed?
I don't know.
Maybe.
So this is Sean Brown, also known as Mr. B from
Nice to
Mr.
see you.
BD.
How's it going, guys?
Good to
Good.
see you, sir.
Yeah. Thanks for being on the show.
Oh, heck yeah. Ed drugged me up here.
Well,
We said we were going to get pizza and beer, and all of a sudden we're on a podcast.
I might have a cider or something in the beer fridge, but that's about all.
So tell us about your games.
Well,
Oh, Angry Orchard.
He's giving away my ciders, although you're gonna have to look hard for the.
for the hard cider.
No,
not
that's
twisted.
hard ciders. They're not twisted.
Use your teeth.
I don't know.
Idiot.
That's what happens on the maple syrup show.
Yeah, maple syrup.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So about games. So for the gathering, maybe about 3 weeks ago, we just released 2 of our new titles. One's called Roman Heroes,
Excellent.
and it is a kind of like an area control, I guess I would call it, type game.
Okay.
When I first played it, I felt it reminded me a lot of some of the early Avalon Hill games, like Feudal.
Oh,
Right,
cool.
okay.
And so it had, variable powers
Nice.
for people to move around and terrain modifiers and stuff like that. But
Awesome.
the game can be, you can play a game in like 5-10 minutes. Like
Oh.
you can lose super quick. And
Yeah.
then once you understand,
Then you're like,
the
let's
depth,
get down to this again.
then you can play 20-30 minutes kind of games.
Wow.
And it expands out. It's tons of fun.
Do you have that here?
I do. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to
And so
trying
should
that.
we
Absolutely.
play it?
Yeah, we should play it.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of fun.
We're in.
Yeah.
And then
What else do you got?
then the other one that came out is called Clockwork Kingdom.
Yeah.
Right,
So-
I know all about
Yeah,
that one.
that's a worker placement,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it's kind of in a steampunk type
Yes.
setting.
Who's
And
who are the designers for both these games?
Uh,
Because we like to give shout outs to the
yeah,
designers.
no,
of course.
absolutely. So Roman Heroes was made by Scott Demirs,
Yep.
who's a local. Well, I say local, not local here,
But local to you.
local to
Local
me.
to-
He's in Denver, Colorado.
Yep.
So he was
Excellent.
part of one of the big local game groups.
Yep.
And he was actually going to do the Kickstarter route and kind of self-publish.
Sure.
And I saw it at one of the local game things, played it. I'm like, this is really good. And he's
Yeah.
like, well, why don't you do it? Okay. And
Why don't
and,
I? Hey.
and away we went.
Wow.
And then Clockwork Kingdom is by Brandon Allen.
Okay.
And Brandon, both of those designers, they're first-time designers.
Wow.
So I was really happy to work with them. I had known Brandon from one of my previous employers,
Okay.
and so I like him and I like the design, and
Yeah.
it was a lot of
So
fun.
tell us a little bit about the second game. What's the storyline, or what happens in the game?
Okay, so the premise is the king has passed away, which
Yep.
they always seem to do. For
It
some
seems to
crazy
happen.
reason.
Seems to
I'm
happen.
glad I'm not a king.
I know.
Aren't
Off
you
with the
king-
head,
Aren't
right?
you the king of maple syrup? Uh-oh.
No.
Mm.
King Kalos does not approve.
So so the king's passed away.
Yep.
And everybody is trying to vie to take over the throne.
Right.
And basically, you do that by building a bunch of really cool buildings that
Cool.
give you influence,
Yep.
or fighting in all the different battlefields that are happening around the town.
Okay.
And it's worker placement. So as you place in different buildings
Yeah.
around town, they give you variable powers that
Yeah.
alter your future turns.
Yep.
And after 9 turns, you add up all the influence, and whoever has the most becomes the new king.
That sounds
Cool.
good.
It's a lot of fun.
And you have that here as well.
Yeah, I have both of those here. That's what we've
Excellent.
been playing all week.
And your company's not very old,
No, so I actually started the company in 2005
right?
Wow.
to self-publish my own little card games.
Yeah.
And I mean, these were like tiny little, like a deck of 52 cards
Right.
type
Literally
card games.
Tiny.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, stoplights was one, and terraforming. Yep. And I did those because I went out on the trade show circuit, which 10 years ago, it was a lot harder to get a game signed.
Right.
Mhm.
And, there was like 12 companies publishing games, and I hit them all up, and all of them said, this is pretty good, man, but just stick with it, kid. Maybe someday, And I got a lot of feedback from a lot of great people at a lot of great companies. And I just said, heck with it, man. I'm going to make my own. And I did it, and it was a great learning experience. I'm glad I did it. And, at the end of the day, you go, okay, now I know. And the cool thing is all the people that I met those years ago that were publishers are all still publishers. And they're all still people I know because it's such a small world.
Yeah, that is a small world.
And I went on hiatus for several years to go to work for a bigger company.
Yep.
Kind of cut my teeth there, learned a whole bunch of stuff, worked on a lot of things, designed, developed. And then I left in 2013 to start up again. So going on to year 2 on my own.
Wow.
And
congrats.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. It was a huge leap of faith, kind of like I'm doing this,
That's exciting.
So I got 4 releases that are, in publication and available for purchase. And then we've got 2 more games pretty far down in development. One of them is on Kickstarter right now. It's called Post-Human.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
And
that one. Yeah. That one has got a lot of good buzz.
Oh, it's going crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We were floored. I mean, I rarely am speechless, but I mean, we put the game up for, I don't know, 27,000 for a funding goal, and it was at 50 before we could blink.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh crap, I guess we gotta make some stretch goals.
Hit. Yeah.
Right. So we all got together via Skype because they don't even live in the same continent as me. And we
where are
they're out of Malta. All the designers in the studio, they're all out of Malta.
Yeah.
And so we were working like crazy on Skype, coming up with ideas and brainstorming. And we came up with stuff up to 100,000, and we said, "That'll be plenty." Who's ever gonna?
Who's gonna kickstart this thing?
Right, we're we literally said, "In your wildest dreams, does this go?" Yeah. All right, so we blew past that today. We went over 200.
Oh wow!
And we had the same conversation. I had a surreal moment. I'm like, I'm at the gathering. But I'm in my hotel room working.
Yeah.
Because I have to, because we have to make this new thing. And I'm like, and I looked and it was 1 p.m. I'd been up since 7 a.m.
Yeah, working.
Just working on this thing with them back and forth on Skype.
Wow.
And we finally got everything done. And then we finally put it out. And those guys went to sleep because they're 8 hours ahead. And I went downstairs and played games. And that was the day, right?
That's your work week.
Your work day.
Yeah. So
there's worse ways to do it.
There is. Well, and I used to do that where you'd work till 5 or 6, and then I'd come downstairs and play till 3 or 4 in the morning, sleep for 4 hours, and go back to work. But it was a surreal moment, right? Where you're sitting there at your laptop going, 100 feet away are some of the best designers in the world.
Sure.
And they're willing to show me games for some reason. I don't know why they want to show them to me, but
you're doing things right then. So on that note, if people were wanting to show you games, are there? I mean, obviously, if they're watching this, they're probably not here. But what other ways could people pitch you games? Are there certain conventions that are good? Or should people contact you directly? What are good? What's some advice for people?
I always tell people that, believe it or not, I think the speed dating events that they run, like Origins, Gen Con, I think they're phenomenal, right? Because I've told people before, when you're at Gen Con or Origins, there's so much going on that it's hard to if you want to come up and give me a brief rundown, it's like, all right, cool, and then maybe we can find some time later to play. But on the showroom floor, it's tough, right? But
it's packed.
The speed dating thing is perfect because they give you
set up for.
Well, they give you an hour to go grab some dinner after the hall closes, and then get into the thing, and then for me. Ready. I really love the format because I can see 10 games in an hour. I think it is, or maybe it's 8 games, or something like that, right? But you get to see 8 things, and from those 8 things, you get a little 5-minute, pee break. And while you're out there walking the hall, you start thinking about it, and you think about all 10 of those things. And even if you really weren't in the market for a game, 2 or 3 of them stick out in your head.
Sure.
And you go like, God, that one was really good. And then the cool thing is when the event's done, you just walk back over and you grab a pitch sheet or a card from all the people that you liked. And maybe you saw 7 things you liked. You can't sign them all, but maybe out of the 7, 2 are a good fit for you. Maybe, I don't know. I've seen some amazing things there,
Cool.
and it's cool. And obviously, like the gathering's great for playing prototypes and stuff. BGG Con is good for it because it's a little more of a laid back show for me and my guys anyway. And then of course email submissions. You know through the website. Anybody wants to send one through the website. What we typically do for our process is we ask them, shoot us an email. And give us the paragraph pitch. Right. Give me a summary of what it is, because I don't. A lot of designers want to know how to protect their IP. And what I always tell people is, I don't. Don't send me your rule book. Tell me what it's about, and if it's a topic that sounds cool or something like that, then we'll say, hey, I'd like to request a rule book, and then we can sign a little confidentiality thing or whatever. Check out your game, right? And if it looks like a fit, then you request a prototype. If it doesn't look like a fit, you just say, hey, it's not going to be a fit.
No harm.
And we move on, right? Because sometimes people, I'm sure this has happened to Ed, somebody pitches you a game and you go, hey guys, this sounds really cool, but I've got one in development that's almost identical. Richard Borg told me a story one time of he went to pitch a game to Hasbro, right? And that's intimidating. Right? And this was in the 80s of all times, right?
And big player.
And he talks about he walks in with a game for the X-Men. Right? How cool it would be to make an X-Men game, right? And he says it's basically Escape from Xavier's Mansion, right? It's being overrun by people, which ironically is the plot to X-Men 2. Right? But Richard Borg might have gotten some screenwriting
Days
credits.
of Future Past.
Right. But so he says he comes in with that game. And the team looks at him in total awe, like they're just like, right? And he's like good look or bad look? And they said, we just played this exact same game from the guy who was in the meeting 10 minutes before you.
Wow.
Two people, two totally different
parallel design,
totally different coasts. Richard's on the East Coast, this guy was on the West Coast. They both came to Hasbro to pitch it. That guy got the appointment first. And Hasbro signed his design and not Richard's.
Wow.
Interesting.
Crazy, right? I mean,
that's nuts.
And that was kind of the point that they made is that, sometimes you can find a design that, that somebody else was already thinking of. Case in point with Posthuman. Long story short, and I'm going to dry it in. I'd been working on a post-apocalyptic game. With a buddy of mine for about a year.
Nice.
And these guys
when I saw Posthuman and they pitched it, and I read through the rules, I went, this is way better than the game we're working on.
You knew spending time
And
thinking about trying to figure that problem out.
Instantly. And I said, oh my God, like all the things we had issues with that we couldn't fix, they did it way better than we did. So I called up my co-designer that we'd been working on this game with, and I said, hey man, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to sign this game that is like 10 times better than the piece of garbage we've been working on for 2 years.
Just hired him as a developer.
Well, and I asked me, the cool thing is I've known this guy for years too, and he was just like, don't worry about it, we'll work on something else together, right? Because it's like that.
The next challenge.
If somebody beat us to an idea, we'll just work on the next idea. There's plenty of ideas.
Dime a dozen, man.
As long as it's not, like Doom Onion or something, like deck builder, then you probably be all right.
And what kind of games are Mr. B games?
Oh man, I don't know.
Excellent ones.
Excellent ones.
So, like,
they're excellent games.
Is theme a big thing for you?
Theme's huge for me. Like that immersion of when you're playing it, I want you to feel like it's not a pasted on theme.
Right.
That's always been a big.
What about like player counts or run times or anything like that? Are you finding there's kind of
I wouldn't say there's
needing or
I don't hit a sweet spot or anything like that. For me, it's I've got a wide variety of tastes and flavors, I guess, and as long as it like I think Ed had said before, as long as it's not a pasted on theme, I'm interested. My first one when I came back was by Richard Launius, Alien Uprising. Had a really strong,
very strong
tension. I mean, when you were playing the game, you were stressed out, and that's what I wanted in that game. That's what Richard delivered. When Ole Steinitz pitched Spurs, I felt like I was playing Boot Hill, the old role-playing game back in the day, but with elements of cool board games.
Cool.
And I'm a huge fan of the Western board game, but I feel like I've never played one that I thought was the definitive or the one that I always go back to. I own them all, and I play them all every once in a while,
Sure.
but there's not one that's a big standout star to me.
Right.
Right.
So that
And
was
when
it
I
for
played
you.
Spurs, I was like, this is the standout star. This is
Right.
everything I wanted in an Old West game,
There you go.
right? And then same thing with Feudal being one of my all-time favorite games. When I played Roman Heroes, I'm like,
Right.
this is kind of like Feudal, only way better. And I can't publish Feudal because it's been out of print forever and the license is not available.
Yep.
So you make the next best thing,
Sure.
right? And same thing with Clockwork Kingdom. I love worker placement games.
Yep.
Guy pitched me a great worker placement game. Played it, loved it. And then, of course, I love Fallout 3 and those types of games. And when I played Posthuman, I'm like, oh, it's a no-brainer. And so I would have to say, long story short, would be theme for me.
Yeah.
If it sucks me in and makes me feel like I'm in part of the world, then
Excellent.
I'm into it.
And what have you seen at the gathering this year that you've liked so far?
All abstracts. Everything that I've played
Really?
this year so far have been abstracts that I've really enjoyed,
Really?
which is not normally my cup of tea.
Maybe you're just maturing.
Maybe. I played Ed showed me some crazy game. Birth.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah, I played Birth.
okay, I gotta say this. This is really fun, but what the hell?
I don't know.
Birth of
Why
what?
Birth? Yeah.
Birth of cubes?
Yeah,
Birth
I don't
of
understand Birth. I don't understand why what I'm doing. I get this puzzle.
Very cool puzzle.
Yeah.
Very fun game.
But I don't know why Birth, why things are there.
Could it be like
It is the inscrutable Asian mind. I could tell you, but I'd have to throw.
But then you'd
ninja
have
stars
to
at you.
kill us.
I'd have to throw
like
ninja stars
all I
at
can
you.
think of is it like constellations? Like are they you know what I mean? And something was
Stars.
out of the translation or
I don't know. I can't read Japanese. So.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I played it with Delia, and it was fun. But
Really
I just
fun.
I don't know why.
I'll have to get Dylan to
There's
translate
one
it.
on the prize table.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
one.
Oh.
And we played tracks,
I think
which
you
was
can make
incredibly
it.
fun.
So fun, so satisfying, and it was so quick.
10, 15 minutes.
I was just like, oh, this
Right?
makes so much sense.
Yeah,
Like, why
and-
is this game not already made?
Exactly.
Why is that game not already made?
It is made by
Well,
a
now-
company in Germany,
Sure.
right? Like, so,
But
but yeah, I mean,
until now,
Oh, okay.
cool.
Oh,
game.
I see what you meant.
like I feel like it should have been.
Oh,
it's
I
just
see.
so
What, yeah.
obvious.
We're like, why didn't somebody make this 5 years ago?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
You got it. No, absolutely. Had like to me, it had that fun factor of like a Transamerica.
Yep.
But way quicker.
Yes.
Really?
Way
I love
quicker.
Way quicker.
And like
Oh,
the interaction was great because it's just like boom, I got 8. And you're like, what?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So
Super cool game. I mean, I really enjoyed it. And then I played a prototype. I probably shouldn't talk about, but
sure.
it was like a stackable kind of thing, and it was
Yeah.
stacking cubes and moving cubes around and stuff.
Sure.
And it was quite fun.
Cool.
All of those I don't think are games that fit my mold that I would probably sign,
Sure.
but they were all amazingly fun.
cool.
So
That's a good problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a neat
exactly.
thing, man.
And we thank you for being on the show.
Thank you guys for having me up.
No,
No
seriously,
problem.
we appreciate it. Hopefully, we'll have you on a future show.
Yeah, and post-human.
that'd be
Here's some
awesome.
Looks
updates.
great.
And
Thanks, man.
again, any designers of yours that are interested in being on the show, we'd love to have them on.
Even
Very
if
cool.
they're Maltese.
Yeah.
Even Maltese.
Even
All right, I will definitely load up guys your way. And speaking of game designers, I hear Gil Hove is in the house. Now,
He
this
is.
guy makes some seriously top-notch design.
He does. He does.
Like serious. Like
yeah.
I'd be
Great,
love-
we're not going to be able to fit out the hotel room. My head's not going to fit out the door.
No, like seriously, I've played a bunch of Gil stuff,
Yeah.
and it's all good stuff. And,
Oh,
and
thanks.
seriously,
Thank
Gil,
you.
if I
Thanks
could
so
ever
much.
have you in the stable of Mr. B
Oh man.
games, I'd love to have you, man.
There you go.
awesome.
Thank you guys.
Thanks very much.
Good to
Thanks, John.
hang out, and thanks
Yes.
for having me on, man.
All right.
Have a
Yeah,
great
I'm
night.
gonna go open this.
Yeah, you do that, sir. All right, Gil. Did you have something to say?
All right, sure. I mean, after all that flattery, what's going to happen now? Going to open the trap door now? Ha! Lured her into my trap.
I have no idea what you're going on about, Gil.
Check out Gil Hova's new game, Bad Medicine. Sponsored by Minion Games' new Battle Merchants by Gil Hova.
I don't know when we got
I had
commercials.
no
but
idea I was this
incredible.
good at ventriloquism.
That's
That's
incredible.
amazing.
That
Now
was
back to
wild.
the show.
Every day.
And back to the show. Awesome. Well, do you want to help us wind this
Sure,
down?
yeah.
Close our
What's
show?
involved?
Well, actually, why don't we ask him last question?
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
Last
sure,
question.
shoot.
So, Gil's been on the show. He's done the last question before.
Well, we can give it a new twist.
All right. Let's see. Give me a new twist.
Focus on pitching, con, the whole what we're trying to do here sometimes.
Okay, Gil.
Yes.
Interconnectedness. interpersonal skills. We're here at the gathering of friends, which is, for those of you who don't know, and it sounds really elitist, and it kind of is, but this is like this invite-only convention that we go to yearly for gamers, designers, publishers, agents, invited here by Alan Moon, the designer.
Very generous to let
Ticket
us
to Ride. And so we're all honored to be here, and it's a very special thing to be here. And so we don't waste the time while we're here. So what do we do? How do we make the magic that happens here at the gathering last for the whole year?
How do I do it?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I try to. I mean, it's tough because on one hand you want to maximize the time, but on the other hand you don't want to burn out. You know, and it's 10 days. You can pace yourself.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
but you know, I'm really happy here. I've just spent like an hour and a half just hanging out here.
Yep.
You know, having a great time.
Yep.
You know, but at other conventions I would have been like, I should be playing something. I should be playing something.
Yeah.
A lot of it is also like I've personally. This is only my second gathering, but I feel like I've been changed a lot by it. Even the first one. Back with the first one, you know, I still I was only testing about a couple of times a month. You know, I still sort of identified myself as a guy who had a full-time job and did design as a hobby. And now I'm freelancing instead of having a full-time job to give myself more time. So I'm not doing game design full-time and game publishing full-time. I wish I could, but
hopefully soon.
Hopefully someday, you know. But what it means is I'm coming at this with a totally different mindset now. What that last gathering showed me is just how important it is to just because I think a week or two after I came back from the last gathering, I thought to myself, how much better would I be at this if I did it every day?
Right.
So, it's just about that practice and just doing it over and over and over again. So now, Bad Medicine, people ask me how long does it take to make a game, and that's a weird question to answer because Battle Merchants took me 6 years, Bad Medicine took me 6 months, but Battle Merchants I tested once or twice a month. Bad Medicine I tested 3 times a week.
Right.
So so it was a total. Bad Medicine came together very quickly. So there wasn't so much percolation time, but their iteration was there. I mean, there was an enormous amount of iteration. I went through a whole bunch of versions going through it until I finally came up with a battle-tested final result. And now with the Battle Merchants expansion, that's also 1 or 2 play tests a week, and that's made some amazing progress. And now I'm lucky enough to have other people testing the game for me. So I send out, the latest version, and they're testing, and they're reporting back to me like what they found, anything weird, unbalanced cards, that sort of thing. And because of that, coming back to the gathering now a year later, I feel my focus is a little different. Sean spoke about this weird feeling of this amazing thing is happening 100 feet away, but you got to do work. So I've got a game that's going to be coming out later this year. It's going to be on Kickstarter later this year. It's an economic strategy game called The Networks, where you're running a television network.
Which is great. I got to play this at Unpub. It was one of my top 3 Unpub games.
I played it last year.
It's so much better.
It's changed so much since it's good because last year, I mean, again, I'd been testing it maybe once a month. That one I was testing maybe once every 2 months, and now it's like at least once a week as I'm testing that, and it's changed so much, because I've got this new this newfound like dedication, and
some time.
And some time. Well, I mean, but now I don't have any time. The time doesn't. It's not like I have any time now. I'm not exact, but it's because of that. I was in my hotel room like yesterday, Skyping with the guy who's going to do the art. I don't want to reveal who it is yet, but someone who's really, really good at it, and I'm really excited about working with him.
Cool.
So the game is going to look amazing, and I'm thrilled. So that's going to be later this year, a game called The Networks. And so I can't wait.
Stay tuned for that. I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. So to get back to so the interconnectedness, though, it's a little strange because last year I was pitching, but this year, I'm sort of a lone wolf now. So now it's more of just networking, talking to people, connecting. It's great to have I really want Joran from Splatter is here, and I would love to have him look at the networks because he's got that economic mind. His games, he has this ability to make these games that have this enormous amount of scale, where you start with this tiny amount of resources and you end with this huge empire.
Yeah.
It's incredible. He puts that in all of his games, and he's really good at it. You know. So, you know, he's hopefully going to get to try the networks, and I'd love to get his perspective on, you know, how the economy is working on that game. I think it's pretty solid at this point, except for the 3-player game is still a little hinky.
Sure.
You know, that's the next thing I need to work on, is get that 3-player game working. But, you know, that interconnectedness, it really depends on what your perspective is. If you're a designer who's pitching, you know, this is really, it's go time, you know, with the gathering, because, you know, you've got all these other designer after publisher after publisher after publisher. You know, I want to show you a game. I want to show you a game. I want to show you a game. And, you know, you see deals getting made left and right. It's really amazing. Whereas, you know, for me, you know, someone who's more of a lone wolf, it's still amazing, you know, because you get to see all the things that are coming out, and you get to see just how much higher the bar went up. You know, I played Time Stories yesterday, and it's extraordinary, just amazing design. You know, and it's, you know, every design has trade-offs, you know, strengths and weaknesses. But, you know, this game has such a unique set of characteristics. You know, I think people are going to adore this game. You know, one of those, you know, why didn't I think of this? It's a brilliant game. So as a self-publisher, you know, that interconnectedness, you know, it really comes from that. It comes from doing, you know, what we're doing here, you know, chatting with, you know, folks like you who not only do great design work, but who also are good enough to share it and talk, you know, open the insight to the process, and just, you know, getting yourself known. You know, you have to say, it's a lot of this is about making yourself known and having people know who you are. And you know, that's something I've been working on also.
It's kind of like Ed said, you know, like you have to be willing to put yourself out there.
You gotta.
Well, Gil, we appreciate you being on the show. We're gonna send you off, and Sen and I are gonna probably talk a couple of minutes more about things we see. It is getting late, so we're gonna wrap. But
all right,
thank you, Gil.
All right,
we'll see you later.
Thank you folks so much. Yes. All right.
Put my Godzilla slippers over here for now.
So before we wrap, why don't we also, just because we've only posted a few videos and we haven't really highlighted too many games that we played, maybe quickly mention just briefly little nuggets of some of the stuff that we've seen so far and what stood out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because we played a lot of games.
Played a lot of games.
So I feel like we should at least Easter egg it, and then we can come back and talk about them in full.
I'm not exactly sure what I can and can't talk about.
Okay, so just talk about the ones for sure. Like, I mean, we got Matt's video, so we can talk about a lot of those.
Okay, so Thunderbirds. Yep. I dragged Daryl over to Matt Leacock's table and said, "Hey, Daryl, you have to play this game. I played it 4 times.
It was great. Great.
It's awesome." And
I played with 2 hours sleep, and it was still great.
And I am disappointed. This is like a huge regret that I didn't back the Kickstarter. If anybody out there wants to sell me the full ride Kickstarter,
there you go.
I'll take that from you. Yep. It was wonderful. Yep. It was classic Matt Leacock. Plus.
Yeah. No, I think I was saying actually to someone, maybe it was at dinner. I said I think I like it more than Pandemic.
I like it more than Pandemic.
Yeah. 100%. It mixed people working together at different times in different ways in a really clever. I didn't even notice it was happening. It was happening. It was well done.
Got to play Matt's new thing for Roll Through the Ages.
Yeah, I got to play that.
Did you?
I just played it like a few hours ago.
That's awesome.
I played it with Tom Vassell, Mike Fitzgerald, and Ralph and Niels. It was hilarious. And also what I learned is that Tom Vassell is a very violent player.
Was he throwing spears at you guys?
All he would do is throw spears at me,
and it was Caltrops?
And he would even just run over me as many times as he could. He even ran over me to his death, even though he could have gone around me, just because he wanted to hit me while he died. It was like a blaze of glory. So.
That is a great little game. I'm not sure how it hasn't been a game before. Yeah. It is so good.
It was one of those ones that's just like obvious.
Matt's party game is really cool.
Yeah, probably can't say too much about that. But that's fine.
Vlada's party game.
Oh, love it. I don't know what the names of it's going to be, but think kind of like Password.
It's like code. It's Spy's code name.
Code name thing, but whatever it's going to be named,
it's going to be awesome.
An insta buy.
Yeah.
So funny.
What else have I played? I played a lot of stuff.
I can name a few.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Well, so I realize I'm a little biased because I love so many Eggert Spiel games.
Yeah.
But Porta Nigra
Oh yeah,
Kramer
I
and
haven't played it
Kiesling.
yet. Want to play?
Amazing.
You need to teach me.
Mombasa.
Need to teach me that too. I hear that's great.
Incredible. They're awesome. I just learned again like maybe more than 3 hours ago.
Let's say 4.
Let's say 4. Coal Baron, the card game.
Oh, funny.
It's awesome.
That's cool.
So
I didn't know that was a thing.
I know. I didn't know it was a thing until all of a sudden Peter's like, "Hey, sit down with me and make sure."
That's what you guys were playing when you were sitting over on the far side of the room.
So he wanted to make sure that we knew it. So before he showed it to other people, and it was instantly like, "Oh, this is incredible!" Like I can carry around Coal Baron with me in a low deck of cards. Also, Friedman Freeze's 504.
Oh, 504.
I've played that multiple times now.
And it's better than last year.
Oh, it's so much better. And it's clean. It's good. I've seen, but I haven't played Marco Polo. I really want to try that.
I want to try the.
You played Mysterium.
Yeah, I played Mysterium. Daryl didn't. I know we said we'd try to play it together,
but I still got to play it.
Yeah, it's great. If you have a good ghost, and we played with
ghost?
Zev,
right?
From Z-Man. And we played with the kind of semi-advanced rules where you don't show the.
So you had a good time though.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
Be hilarious to play.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I played that right after I played Time Stories.
Right. And you liked it more right away.
I liked Mysterium much more than Time Stories. Maybe it was the people I played with, but not really because Jay was playing with me in both cases. Time Stories for me was merely okay.
Yeah, I learned, not that this is an early release. It's been out for a little while, but Patchwork.
Yeah.
Uwe Rosenberg, and I played it twice now, and I've loved that.
Yeah. What other games have I played?
What else have we played? I mean, I've played a bunch of prototypes that we can't talk about. And
Loop and Chewy.
Loop and Chewy. Which
play that.
I don't know if you know this. Don't take photos of it. We're not allowed. It's a pre-production release. Someone got their hand slapped for that one. I'll talk to you about that later.
Yeah.
It's kind of a funny story. What else is there? I feel like there's a bunch more, and I'm just like mind blur.
Yeah, there's so many games to play here.
So many.
And so many good ones, and so many ones that, and even old ones that. Oh, Daryl, tell them about the Caffeine Rush tournament.
We had a Caffeine Rush tournament. It was so exciting to see, like, a whack of tables all playing, screaming out drink orders and slapping down ingredients. So for me, that was a huge highlight to get to see that in action. And
we're playing a lot of Times Up.
Yeah, a lot of late. And I mentioned earlier in the episode, I finally got to do Werewolf. So I played 3 games. I was undefeated, twice as a villager and once as a werewolf.
Yeah, I'm undefeated at Times Up. So come at me, bro.
I think that's a good summary until we remember to post.
Yeah, we'll post
more of them and all that kind of. Stay tuned we have a private video with Matt Leacock. We got a private video with Vlada. We got a private with Hoosh and friends, Britta and Benjamin. We also have one coming out from Ted Alsbach from Bezier Games, because they got Kickstarter. You got to check it out. One Night Resistance.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe it.
One Night Resistance. Sounds amazing.
Yeah. Well, and we saw it. It
looks amazing too. And hopefully we'll get some more videos up to you guys soon. Just so you know, the internet here is really spotty, and for some reason tonight seems to be working okay.
Well, I do know why.
Why?
Well, here specifically, I went to the front desk and they had not unlocked my internet in my room.
That is why.
So I was only sometimes picking up, and then it would drop me off. So every time I tried to load videos,
it's Wednesday, and so we may not get daily videos uploaded.
But we're making them.
We're gonna make them.
There'll be a trickle effect of what you see and what we'll release as time goes on. And the other exciting thing is we've arranged a bunch of exclusives that we're gonna actually. Some people, we met them here, and they said, as much as I'd love to film here, I'd rather schedule a time to film something in the future this summer. So we're lining up a few of those. So actually, the fun part is we're actually going to probably get you better content than just on the fly because we're scheduling specific interviews. So that's going to be really exciting, because I think we might actually end up making more videos for people in the long run.
Yeah.
Beyond just these little 10, 15-minute kind of snapshots, we might actually get to talk more in depth about design.
And if we manage to corral some more people to do something like this, we'll tweet it out, put it on our Facebook page, and let you guys know as soon as we can. Now that your internet's back up and we can get
we can actually load things,
our Hootsuite going and whatnot, we'll let you guys know. Cool. So let us know if there's anything you want to see. Tweet us.
Yeah, send tweets and let us know if there's any specific games you want to see. If you want to see, an interview with someone specific that you see at the gathering, and we can try to track them down
or set up something for later. Just let us know. We want to do our best.
We want to find what you want to know about. So let us know.
All right. Cool.
Night.
And we'll see you soon.